Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. All right, that beer's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That was beer from that cooler I left at your house, Ryan, for however many months it's been. So
Well, it was in a climate-controlled area. It's not like it was sitting outside.
Yeah, I was just worried about getting a little skunky for being so long, but yeah, not too bad. I'll drink it.
It's mostly water anyway.
I was going to drink it anyways.
We know.
Welcome back, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Pretty good week.
I mean,
Excellent.
nothing out of the ordinary, but like it was pretty. It was pretty okay.
You guys had a better week. You got to go to a spring tour event.
The spring tour. It was pretty cool. Ryan, now tell me what you think about this. There was, for a sellout event, there was a whole lot of coaches and staff and athletes and administration. Like, there was more than 50% of the people there worked or attend to Georgia State, right?
Yeah, it felt very staff heavy, weirdly staff heavy, and then the players were obviously coached to mingle a little bit, and they did a good job of that, I thought. So my big problem with the whole event was they didn't ask us for any money.
That was strange. I mean, this is
The
effectively
NIL
a fundraiser.
didn't ask us for any money. It was a free event.
It was sponsored by the NIL.
Really?
I mean,
I think it was technically all blue, all nil. It was their event. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was sponsored. It was sponsored by it. This was their funding of the event and everything.
Yeah.
And with McGee talking about everything he talks about, Hayes being there for the short amount of time that he was, he had to fly off to go do a recruiting call or whatever. But yeah,
so no money.
I talked,
no collection plate, no nothing.
We talked to Mike. Oh, my thumb's up doing that thing. Talked to Mike Holmes. Talked to Del McGee. Talked to David Bell of baseball, Cassie and Bella of beach volleyball, Freddie Brock from the football team, Charlie Cobb. Nobody asked us, either one of us, for money, and others have been saying the same thing. Nobody asked for a single penny.
You'd think Mike Holmes would ask you.
In front of the room, right? And while you're giving your speeches and stuff, you say, "Hey, we need your money. Give."
Well, they talked about that, but as far as actually a legit ask, I didn't hear an ask from anybody.
I didn't,
which is strange.
I asked, our development department if there was going to be an ask, and I was told no.
This was just a mixer.
It's a freebie, I guess, huh?
I don't know why.
They're going to come in
trying to raise money up in this.
They're going to come in hard for the sell at some point in the future.
Look, I didn't have a ton of money to donate, but I was prepared to give them the cash in my pocket.
Wait, whatever I got on hand. Yeah, it was weird, but it was fun though. I mean, I'll complain about the lopsidedness of the event. If you're going to have something that's a finite number of people, it's a fixed number of seats, bodies that can be in the place, and I guess there's a lot of people that didn't show up. It was just way too heavy on the Georgia State side of things, which was, I guess, kind of good for us because we did get a chance to talk to so many people. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to this. I mean, out of all these tours we've gone to over the years, and never talked to players like we did at this one. That was very, very cool.
Yeah, great space, good food they brought out, and the beer was.
So do you think they were coached?
I didn't either, but it looked good.
Do you think they were coached on talk to the people you don't know that are fans?
I just think they were encouraged to.
That's good
to engage with others.
Like when Freddie came to talk to me, he definitely was looking for somebody to talk to, saw me and pointed and sort of was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be right over," and, like he knew me or something. But I do feel like they were like, don't just stand around for some amount of time. Find a fan to talk to.
I like it.
Right,
that's a good event.
Although nobody told us that, but that's what it felt like. That there was definitely some reaching, the players and stuff were definitely going beyond their comfort zone to go mingle.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't ask for money though. That would have been so easy
to me. It's so weird.
I mean, I guess we know a lot of these people. We talk to a lot of these people on a regular basis. They know that we're probably giving everything we can, but still, yeah, it was how do we get you to increase that donation, or when's the last time you donated? Are you able to make a contribution today? Something like that. It's a new year. We're heading into the new season. Right. The new athletic season starts July 1st. Nothing like that. So
there's all kinds of different tactics to raise money at an event like that, and like that's why you throw an event like that. You're not really collecting any data on the people, which is another reason you might throw an event like that, because it's so limited, right? So you're only going to take the people who are like already gonna make it away. So the whole point, I thought, maybe they had other goals, but it felt like the point should have been raise money.
it was weird to me that it was a free event, and in previous years it was like $10 or something like that to go to one of these things.
So wait, you got free beer?
That money could have gone to the NIL.
2 free beers.
You got free beer at a free event, and you didn't have to donate any money. That's
food too, if you wanted it. I didn't get any, but
and beer. That's a win.
Well, I did contribute to the NIL, so I guess I was just paying for my own food and beer.
Yeah,
right.
Not that evening. You didn't, right?
No, I mean when it first launched.
Yeah, exactly.
Not since then.
Well, nobody
like
has since then because they have not asked for any more money since then.
Yeah, they'll find their way. I think that, obviously with Del McGee being at the helm now, things are going to change. It was just odd that nothing changed or nothing was asked for that night. But
yeah.
Speaking of the NIL, how's it doing? Have we looked at it? I think it's made some
the donation page. You can't really call it a donation page because it's not a donation. It's not a charity. It's a
giving page.
It's the link to that
sponsorship.
It's doubled now.
Sponsorship.
It's over 20. It's over 20 grand, but even then, that's not super impressive. But apparently, there are works with deals going on with corporate sponsors that are not going to be part of that page. That's just literally what fans do. However, a lot of teams in the Sun Belt, when they announced their NIL, they had over $100,000 in fan donations within 24 hours. And we're now how many months in, and we're sitting at 20-something thousand.
We're on the slow incline up to 100 grand.
Slow burn.
Yeah,
it happens. McGee's gonna turn it all around.
McGee's gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a built-in fan base. It's just not there. With the lack of success that we've had over the years in football, it's just you don't have people that are diehard fans. And the inconsistency. I think it's not even the lack of success; it's the inconsistency. As soon as you start doing good, we just barely edge out a win against Kennesaw State. So there was one thing that McGee's been talking about quite a bit that I thought was we have not talked about here. I thought was kind of interesting. If you notice how on his social media stuff, it's either hashtags or these images, New Atlanta, like hashtag New Atlanta, New Atlanta all the place. I dig that. What do you guys think?
Is it like New Atlanta because we're just restarting? Is that what this is? It's brand new. It's fresh. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be all the above.
I like it's like we are Atlanta, right? And so it's like sort of a nod to that. And but this is new.
Is it a diss? Is it a diss to Georgia Tech down the street?
Whatever.
It should be. We should definitely have like
how can you diss them any more than they already diss themselves?
They diss themselves.
That's kind of true.
With their
I wouldn't want to be them.
Yellow Jackets.
I wouldn't want to be them going into the season. They have to do well. They'll never hear the end of it if they lose.
You think they buy us out of the return game if we beat them? We beat the snot out of them in the very first game. They're kind of like, oh yeah, we've got to reschedule next year. We'll postpone that to 2030 or something.
We got Samford. They need a game, so we have to replace your game with them. We're going to be away.
Hope so. I hope they do that. That shit would be hilarious.
That we would definitely not stop talking about.
No, yeah, exactly. And there'd be no way around it. Like that would all just be like scared to play us.
It's the same thing about Alabama forfeiting the game against us. They just were scared to play us, and so they forfeited the game. They used COVID as an excuse.
It's not exactly the same thing, but it is very similar.
They got the SEC to change the entire scheduling during COVID just so they didn't have to play us. Yeah. Memphis did that, but Memphis was a different reason. The American Conference rescheduled a hurricane game for them, so we lost a game.
They didn't do anything
for
wrong.
The season.
Yeah.
It's still kind of. We got it back on the schedule for 2025, right?
Yeah,
it's coming up.
It's a home game, right? They're gonna come here.
Home game with them. That could actually be a Power 5 team by then. They may be in the ACC at that point.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That's true.
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
I don't think the Big 12 is going to take them. So ACC was really, if there is a Power 5 opportunity for them, that's where it's going to be. And you got to think that Memphis is probably the next Power 5 team. So
they want to be. So does.
We had P5 just lost a few, right?
Well, it's not the P5. I mean, it's literally not the P5 anymore. They announced today
P4,
that
right?
NCAA de-autonomize. I've pronounced that. If that's even a word. The Pac-12 conference down to not autonomous.
So what does that make the two teams that didn't leave?
They're just
independent.
Yeah, effectively they're a G5 conference now. I mean, that's what G5 is, the non-autonomous conferences. It's just no one can pronounce or spell autonomous, so they just call it G5 and P5.
Well, and so those labels are kind of weird, right? So like, there's only some conferences that have autonomy. The rest of them are just everybody's bitches. Is that like what they're just saying? Is that what non-autonomous means? Is that they're bitches?
I think it's like the UN Security Council. The autonomous conferences have a seat at the board, and the non do not. So
yeah, that's not that cool. That's not a very cool way to divide.
That's the NCAA. There you go.
Yeah. NCAA is going to do well. For now, they're going to do what they want to do. We'll see if they have they even are a thing in the coming years.
They did something you'll support, Ryan. Immediate eligibility on transfer now.
I do support that. I you know what I don't support? That it was done via court.
Oh. Was it court? I didn't read it.
Yeah, I went in there and looked at it because I was like, I wonder, like, it feels sort of weird to go further right now because it does feel like there's a lot of pushback right now about the transfer portal.
Right.
Obviously, people are upset. And so I looked into the details and it looked like there was a court order to allow it. Somebody sued on behalf of a student, blah, blah, blah. And like, like I said, I think they should be able to, but like, I don't know, what's a court have to do with it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I honestly thought that with the transfer portal, eligibility was immediate anyways. When you
they still had a limit on the number of times they could transfer, and
is that what it was? Okay,
and get so I think you got like one for some reason, and then you can get another free one. But then like by the third one, you weren't able to. You had to sit still for a year.
Well, Jermaine Mann is enjoying the luxury of that, isn't he?
He is going back home.
Basketball transfer from Gardner Webb to Vanderbilt to Georgia State, back to Gardner Webb now.
So is that a failure or a success? I'm unclear. Like if you tried to strike out on your own and you were like, oh man, you know what? It's not that good out here. I'm gonna go back.
It's strange to go back to a school that you were already at. Like I heard about a story, I think I talked about it before, where some kid transferred from Alabama, got his $1 million payday at Indiana or wherever the hell he went, and then transferred back to Alabama without ever having played a game for the other school. I don't know if he even stepped on campus or not. He's got his NIL money and went straight back. Yeah. I think that the NIL deals are going to have to start coming with like a contract, some restrictions, like, you
got to stick it out for however long. Otherwise you don't get vested or some such. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, this, I don't know what the deal is, but played 1 year at Gardner Webb, 1 year at Vanderbilt, 2 years at Georgia State, and now back to Gardner Webb. Okay.
It's just weird to me that like, you have that much eligibility at all. I know you get technically like 5 years or some such, whatever, but like, it seems like a lot of transferring for one player.
You got COVID, you got red shirt. I mean, that's 2 extra years. Right?
Are we finally done with the COVID?
Is there a medical year for people? Could you have red shirt COVID medical? Should you have 3 extra years?
You can have you could have a well, I think COVID's done, but I could be wrong. But if you had a COVID red shirt year and then you had like another medical red shirt year, you could that could have happened. Yeah. And a regular red shirt year.
7 for the record, Ryan is not saying that COVID is over. It's no longer a thing. He's just saying that the COVID years.
Well, I wasn't saying that, but I would say that.
The extra years of eligibility may be over. Although I don't think they're over. I mean, I think some people are probably like it's like coupon stacking, right? You got COVID, you got red shirt, you
It's
got
a double
medical,
day. 2 for Tuesdays.
double coupon day. Yeah, stack of that shit.
There you go. The blue light special.
Can you imagine though if you're in college, just like it's 7 years and it's a free ride?
Well, I can imagine the 7-year part. I don't know about the free ride part.
It really got bright in there, Ryan.
No, my light is doing something weird. I guess I gotta change my bulb because it's gonna dim again here in a second. I think that's what it did
Setting
before.
the tone.
But I'm so shiny when it's dim because it's the light over here is. I gotta get the lighting right at some point too.
Do
Tim, when we were talking in our text about what we're talking about tonight, and you brought up Jermaine Mann, you said something. You asked if we would get one of those. You're talking about whether or not we're going to get some players that will come back to us. Is that the question was?
Yeah, we'll get. Do we have any boomerangs, basketball or football? I don't really care. Do you think we'll get any players to come back after leaving here, going maybe somewhere else, and then transferring back to Georgia State?
It'd be cool if we had some guys that came in that Jonas brings in, or I guess this you could extend this to any of the sports. Come in and then go get their payday for a year and come right back because they just like something, they want to get that paycheck or want to be getting close to home, but they've already got their Lambo pulling up to the convocation center deck.
We probably have to pay them too.
I hope they don't have a Lambo.
They could.
There's just like not that much money to the point where like that wouldn't be really irresponsible use of that money that probably could go to a lot of other good things.
A lot of those cars are just leased. They're not actually buying the car with their money. But even then, I don't know what the lease payment is on a Lamborghini. I would rather take that cash instead. Give me that monthly payment in cash every month.
I'm thinking most of those are maybe like a dealership leasing it at a discounted rate or giving it as NIL lease.
You think about
free
it also,
lease.
say you get a star quarterback and national attention, and you give them a Lambo or some nice car for their time at the school, or maybe you give them a new one every single year, and then you put it back on the lot and you say, this was Darren Granger's car, this one that he drove. Now you can sell that car, a used car, at a premium because it has that attention of being like, get him to sign the inside of the dash or something like that. I mean, obviously I'm not talking about this happening with Darren, but just taking it back to Georgia State. You do this with somebody like a Caleb Williams or something like that, and people will now buy that Lambo for full price just because it's got his signature inside of it, and he drove around with some co-eds.
It's probably got more than the signature inside,
Drove around.
Full detail job.
It may have some DNA in there. You can clone your own Caleb Williams if you want.
That's gross.
But it's probably true.
I was talking about a paper, like a napkin or a paper towel.
Yeah, like his hair
or something. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
No, if I had a Lambo, that's what I would do in it. So
you heard it here first. Breaking news.
I want to have a car that's more expensive than my house. Like that's just that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like, imagine just parking it anywhere. The anxiety would be terrible. I would just be like, I can't leave this car
anywhere.
I had a buddy of mine who was a huge car nut, and he said that if he would never own a Lamborghini because he'd have to buy two of them. One that he would just like baby and take care of and only wash it with baby diapers and stuff like that, and the other that he would just drive it like a derby car, like haul ass everywhere, bumping into things and just not care about it at all. So
just park it in the front row at the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, compact only. He's like, yep, Lambo.
Not even taking up the two spaces like all those douchebags do.
No. Yeah, I mean, don't be a douchebag about it. If you're gonna drive your Lambo,
you're already driving a Lamborghini. We know you're a douchebag. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, the draft, NFL draft coming up Thursday night.
Oh yeah,
we got a few players that Georgia State's pimping out as potentially getting their name heard, their name called over the weekend.
Who we got? Who's on the slate?
On their list that they put out there, you've got Darren Granger. I just do not see him getting drafted as a quarterback. I could see him getting picked up afterwards, but he's listed. Then you got John Tree Hunter, Seth Glauser, was it Travis Glover, and Tyge, what's his name? Tyge Leach.
Which one's the one that went to the combine?
That was Gentry Hunter, right?
That
Or
sounds
Travis
right.
Glover.
That sounds
Maybe
Hunter sounds right.
Yeah. Well, both of those two guys I've actually found in mock drafts when the sites that go through and go through the entire 7 rounds of NFL draft. Both Gentry Hunter and Travis Glover got popped up a couple of times, but never on the same mock draft. Georgia State can only have one player drafted at a time. Apparently, we can't have
for the mock. But I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I know it usually is me anyway. I don't think anyone's gonna get drafted.
Oh, just one. We get one.
I mean, people will end up on teams, I think. And like to David's point, there's people that are going to be on practice squads. There's going to be people who get picked up afterwards and are being, they might end up with a contract. But I don't think anyone's getting drafted. And who knows? But once you get past a certain point in the draft, it's all sort of a shit show. Like people don't really know who's going to do what. We've had guys get drafted way earlier than we expected. We've had years where we thought somebody would and nobody did. So like it's just it feels like we're just on the cusp. We're just still not quite there.
Who has appeared more in these mock drafts, David? Hunter or Glover?
Through the drafts that I looked at, they twice each. Actually, Gentry Hunter in both drafts that I saw him going were both have him going to Vegas, the Raiders, which
nice. It's not a bad place
Falcons are playing at this year. And then Travis Glover was projected to either Jacksonville or Denver.
Oof.
So,
better cross your fingers for Denver.
Right. I think offensive lineman getting to block for Trevor Lawrence.
Is that but you still have to live in Jacksonville.
Is what's his nut still at Denver coaching, or is he gone?
Sean Payton, yeah, he's still there.
Oh well, then he can't go there either. He's screwed.
No. Yeah, just forego the draft entirely.
Decline whoever drafts you because both places are terrible.
I was trying to do my Sean
sit a year and wait to get picked up next year.
Yeah.
Although I hate your camera so much.
It keeps moving
back and forth.
I'm getting seasick.
I don't know what. Like, if I move like a half inch, does it start moving?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I think it focuses on something up there and wants to move back or forward.
I had to turn mine had like the autofocus and it would just go wild, so I had to turn that off.
Figure it out.
Anyway, yeah, sidetrack.
We'll move in, see what it does.
My bad.
So beach volleyball. Season
beach volleyball, what do we do? We won a bunch of games, right?
Not only have we won a bunch of games, so the regular season has come to an end. The conference championship will begin this Thursday in Huntsville, Alabama.
Are we champions of the league?
Going
undefeated. Georgia State undefeated in beach volleyball, and not only undefeated. Not only did they go 7-0, out of the 7 games they played, they only lost 1 set in conference play.
Either we're really good or our conference really sucks.
Could be a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
On March 6th, we went 4-1 against Mercer and have not lost a conference set since then. It's I think that we are leaps and bounds better than this conference. That's the only.
So this conference is holding us back, is what you're really saying.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, the conference has been holding us back. We've been saying that about every sport. So,
yeah,
or at least football, basketball, all the sports.
Yeah, but that one we're at least winning.
Still ranked 15th nationally.
Didn't we beat someone ahead of us recently?
We beat
LSU.
There was the last term. No, we lost to LSU, but the last. We beat them like 2 weeks ago, but this past series.
I was there. We beat them.
Yeah, no. This was we actually finished the season up in Columbia at South Carolina, playing Sean's favorite program.
I wonder if Sean was there.
And well, I hope he was, because Georgia State not only beat South Carolina, ranked South Carolina, they knocked South Carolina out of the top rankings by beating them. So
he was probably there.
He is tweeting quite a bit right now.
Oh yeah,
a 50-year-old man at 18, 19-year-old girls playing volleyball. Yeah, he probably was there.
Probably. I just noticed, like, I still follow him on Twitter, and he is tweeting a hell of a lot about South Carolina. I was like, I don't really remember you doing this when you were here.
Nope.
He was either holding back or they actually have requirements for him to be active on social media.
You must have X number of tweets per month.
I mean,
It
they
wouldn't
might just
surprise
have
me.
a person that does it full time, just has access to all the coaches' accounts.
It is all his tweets are about being back home, and then all the people love him and say it's so great. You can go home to your family. God bless. Blah blah blah. It's so touching.
That's the part that still just continues to like piss me off about the whole thing. People are like, "Oh, you got to go back to your family." Like he wasn't like being held apart from them. Like he wasn't being forced away from his family. Like that was a choice they all made.
He forced them to stay away from him.
I mean, I'm just saying it could have been easily resolved in a in another way. You know?
Yes, yeah. Your kids were not even in high school when you took the job at Georgia State,
right?
You could have moved them down here and gone home to them every single night, had them at every single game, and made most of their high school games.
And he still lived there, so it's not like they were separated. Like he still he just commuted a long way, guys. Like it's not.
That's a long ass commute. Oof.
I know, but I'm not exactly, and he chose it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not. I just can't with this whole like, oh, you're reunited with your family, blah. Like I just can't with all that nonsense.
It's not like he came down here, moved the entire family, and she realized, the big city is just not for me. I miss being back in Columbia where our friends and our family were and stuff like that. And so after 2 or 3 years, she moved back for the kids to finish up school there or something. No, never ever made any intention on making Atlanta home. Right. Or you know what? Actually, let's go look the different way. Let's look at it from a different perspective.
All right.
Maybe he wasn't tweeting back in Atlanta because he was always at like the strip clubs or hooking up, or maybe he had side pieces all over the ATL, and that's what he was doing.
That'd be terrible, but also
partying
funny.
it up.
Nah.
Oh, that's way more fun.
I mean, it would be, but it's not true.
I don't know if it's true or not.
We don't know if it's true or not.
Okay. It could be true.
Fair enough.
It could be true. But no, so beach volleyball.
You guys are right. You might have been
convinced you.
He could have lived in a strip club. We don't know.
Doing it up. Literally.
No. Got a apartment right across from Magic City.
Oof, I don't know about that. Your cats are on fire tonight.
Oh my god, I don't know what is the deal.
Did you give them catnip or something?
No, they don't even like catnip. They're just wild right now.
Oh.
Fun stuff.
Other sports?
Yeah. Best of luck to the Sandy Panthers this week. They start Thursday against Stephen F. Austin at 9 a.m. Thursday morning. They have never lost to Stephen F. Austin, and Stephen F. Austin has not won a conference game at all this season. So hopefully we should really beat them there.
Knock on wood here. There we go.
It is double elimination, so even if they do fall at some point, they have a chance to come back. But yeah, now I was talking to Cassie and Bella from the beach volleyball team when we were at the spring tour event.
Yeah,
and we were talking about matches and games, whatever. And I don't want to say they're overlooking the conference championship, but they were kind of like, yeah, so we should win that. And then when we go to nationals, whatever, it was just like the confidence that these girls have is just like, yeah, this is just a foregone conclusion that we're going to win the conference. We're going to do that. So
we should ask them what's it going to take to win the Natty.
Well, I know I was a dick to him. I'm like, why the hell did you guys lose to Stetson and Charleston or whoever the hell it was?
You didn't say that. No.
I did.
No, you didn't.
And then you come back and you beat LSU the next day, number 8 or 9 or something like that. No, they said that they answered the question, and we talked about having them come on the podcast and talk about playing beach volleyball at Georgia State, but they're talking about the rotations change up big time, and some rotations work really, really well against some programs, and then the exact same rotation does not work against other programs. So, they made their adjustments and, were able to, like I said, knock off a top 10 team the next day. So
it's a big coaching thing, basically. Big coaching strategy.
Yeah. I hope we're giving Coach Van Fleet every penny we possibly can, because by far the most successful sustained program we've had at Georgia State ever.
Yeah, well, and as more programs enter beach volleyball, which I'm sure they will with Title IX and all kinds of things going on there, that there is going to be some money coming her way. So
it is a relatively, I would assume it's a relatively inexpensive sport to start because you're not giving out a lot of scholarships. I don't know how many, but there's like 12 or 14 girls in the
think that's
program.
why we did it.
Yeah, sand,
Yeah,
net,
yeah.
breaks. It's all you got.
Yeah, I
They
mean
were-
that facility couldn't have been very expensive. I mean, it's some pits with
What
full of
was
sand.
it before? Like a parking lot? I don't even know.
It was probably dumpsters or something. I mean, really.
They're
Well, it's
underneath the
expensive.
sand right now.
It's expensive to the extent that it is downtown Atlanta real estate. So that property could be used for something pretty expensive. But other than that, for these other regional schools that are out in the boonies, yeah, go to Lowe's, get a bunch of sand, toss it out there. Go to Dick's Sporting Goods, get some volleyball nets. Bam, you got a D1 program right
Volleyball
there.
check.
Set. Go to Best Buy, get a little Bluetooth speaker to play some music while our games are going on. What else you need, right? A coach and players.
The sound system's better than that though. At the
No, it was great.
whatever it's
No, it's
called.
awesome. No, I'm joking.
That's probably where you
man.
put the money in, right? The sound system.
That
Yeah.
mural. I bet the mural wasn't cheap.
Did we do
Probably
that,
not.
or did we just leave a wall unguarded for a matter of time in Atlanta?
Yeah,
and
I
someone
think the
tagged it all?
unguarded wall would have looked a little different than this does. So
Come
Do you know they
tag
actually
the
have-
Georgia State beach volleyball wall.
Do you know they
Can't
actually have
imagine.
like a coat of paint they can put, a clear coat of paint they put over walls to prevent graffiti from sticking to it? It makes
Yeah,
other paints wash right off.
that's cool.
Where the hell did you learn that?
Because in my
Sandy Panther,
neighborhood,
he was there.
we paid to have a mural painted under the overpass, the MARTA overpass by my house, and I was like, it wasn't me that asked the question. Somebody asked the question that I was thinking was, we're going to spend all this
How
money on it,
long?
and then the next day it's going to be tagged up completely, and like no, there's a special
paint.
coating they put on it that allows you to wash off any other paint.
There's
That's
also
awesome.
seemingly a little respect, because I mean the murals here in Summer Hill have been untouched for a long time.
They
some
may
good
have
ones in
the
Summer Hill.
coating on them.
I don't know if they do.
Yeah,
They touched them
I do
up
think
at
there
some
is-
point.
I do think there is some respect. I think you're right. There is some respect for a lot of the people that do the tagging consider themselves artists, and many of them are legit quality artists, and they don't want to mess with someone else's artwork. So,
Yep.
But there's deviance in everything. So,
Oh, of course. Yeah, and then some of them are just like gangs tagging stuff to whatever.
Just tag it.
Just
Yeah, I'm not
jerks.
gonna
But the
get into
cool
any of
thing
that.
about the Sandy Panthers and where they play is the train literally goes right there, and so you don't have this faux train horn. You got real train horns.
And MARTA with its toot toot.
You just you do this and they go. It's right there. They
I'm
honk their
sure.
horns.
I'm sure they would. Why wouldn't they? It's entertainment.
So
Yeah.
while I was
Yes,
there,
I mean-
one of the conductors definitely honked. I don't know if it was because of like going in and out of the city or like requirements or anything, but he definitely sounded the horn while he was going through, which was cool.
Ryan checks the news
sure-
later on, and there's someone got on the tracks at the Georgia State station.
No,
Dying
I
or
don't read the
something.
news anymore.
Pretty sure the conductors appreciate the beach volleyball court being right there.
I was
They-
gonna
I
say he
do-
probably drove by or was driving by and saw very attractive ladies and
Playing beach
was like,
volleyball.
"I'm gonna toot my horn."
No, there were plenty of
That's how he
stories
sounded
with
too. I'm gonna toot
with
my
the-
horn.
Mm-hmm.
the practice facility, the football practice facility when it was over on MLK. There are plenty of players talk about how the trains would go by and they were
MARTA train.
practicing that
Toot,
they would toot the horn. I'm
Toot,
assuming
toot.
that the same thing happens with soccer. Soccer looks a little bit. I went by that. They've looks a little bit nicer. They actually have like some legit bleachers there. I mean, it's obviously awkwardly set up just because they had to squeeze that soccer field into the tiniest of places. But
They
Looks
fit it.
good.
That's all that matters.
it looks good. It works. So
You know
What
where they
sucks is that it's that brick wall is really like part of the historic building, and so they can't really like tear
Right
that down and just make the
I know.
facility smaller. I mean, they could, but you know how people in Atlanta are; they'd get all upset and all that stuff.
you
But
got
like it
better
is
luck cutting
from
a
the
tree down.
bleachers, you can't. There's like a whole little sliver of the field you can't see
cannot go
because
there.
there's a building in the way.
No, you can actually see. You can see that corner if you're sitting in the
Okay.
bleachers.
When
Yeah,
did you
I
go,
mean,
David?
It's been. It was. I think it was the first year that it opened up for
Mm.
soccer.
They should figure out how to put the broadcast on the other side so you can see the entire field.
The broadcast is on the roof.
They need to find seating on the roof.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Seating on the
roof.
Yep.
With a bar.
Well, obviously, Tim, stop being silly.
Bring a cooler. There was no one to stop you from bringing a cooler.
Bring your own sodas to the match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why have we not done that more? Go into soccer matches and bring our own cooler just to sit there and.
We're talking about going to baseball this weekend. Is that still like on the table? Is that still?
I think so. I got
always on the table.
I got to get things cleared here at home, but my plan is to go to the Saturday match.
Cool.
Because I think they're Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
What is that app we're playing?
Appalachian State, the Appy.
Do baseball?
Are we going to beat App
matches?
Well, series. It's a series.
It's a game within a series.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
3-game series. That's how baseball.
I'm just
works.
saying, you guys give me a lot of shit for points, and then get it wrong.
Well, actually, Ryan, they're going to break out a soccer match during the baseball game
to make it all right.
Yeah, we'll be all good.
on the pitch and the gridiron.
On the pitch, yeah. Actually,
but they're going to score points in that game.
Yes.
No, they're going to.
In that match, shit, we're all over the place.
They're going to get goals, Ryan.
Goals.
Those are points, though, aren't they? People say points.
No, you get points for winning a match on the table.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Soccer does that weird scoring, don't they?
You get points for winning the match, and the points and your ranking is on the table.
That's not NCAA.
I don't know about that. They probably use all the same words, right?
Is that MLS? MLS does
MLS uses all that, yeah.
So
match,
every match every game that they win, they get a certain number of points, and then that's how their rankings are determined.
Yep. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss.
I had no idea.
Doesn't hockey do the same thing?
I think hockey has ties too, yeah, right?
Yeah, I think they do this. I know they definitely have ties, but I think that they do the same.
We missed out on the Ice Panthers, right?
Do we ever have Ice Panthers?
No.
Yeah, we need. I would love that. If I won that $1.3 billion lottery that I did not buy a ticket to, we would have had so many more sports added. I would have definitely gotten ice hockey going, women's lacrosse going. Restart track and field. It's a shame we don't have track and field. That's absurd. We were supposed to have before beach volleyball came thing. We were supposed to have women's swimming and diving was going to be the next female sport added. But then RJ Hunter came here and we filled in the pool
with concrete
to make a practice court for them. Which I guess scheduling was a problem for the basketball team, considering it was being used for volleyball and women's basketball and everything else. So they need to have an actual dedicated practice facility, which is actually right there next to the beach volleyball courts, sand volleyball courts. Yes.
Cool.
Speaking of baseball.
Speaking
of baseball.
How'd we do?
The guys 1-1 on against Troy earlier, and then lost the last 2 games of the season. Troy State, my bad.
Got it.
But they beat the snot out of Alabama State today. I think it was 16 to 5 or something like that. 16. They scored 16 Ryan points, but for the rest of us, 16 runs. And they run.
I love that you feel the need to say it.
Ryan points.
Ryan points.
So they did the mercy rule or run rule.
The run rule. So that's like the 3rd run rule game in like the past 6 games or something like that. 7 games. That's fun.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then Appalachian State this week. Oh, actually, they have a weird game. Like normally they play a Tuesday game and then they'll do a series over the weekend. They're actually going to Presbyterian tomorrow, Wednesday, to play a game. So. Yeah,
hopefully another W.
Last year we played them. We actually, I guess it was earlier in the season. We did a 3. No, we went 2-1 against, and we won the series. But the combined score of the 3 games is we were up 38-14, but somehow lost one of the games. In the second game, we outscored them 20-0. I think I remember that happening. I remember we were doing the podcast. I was like looking at all the scores. I'm like, we in baseball just beat a team 20-0. That's a football score.
College baseball, man. They just
it can go any direction, right?
I guess pitchers aren't necessarily that good because if they were good, they'd be in the major league.
I mean, there are some college pitchers that make it up to the major leagues, but yeah, I
but
think
typically they skip it because there's no requirement to go to college, and so they just, if they're good, they just move on
because the minor league is such a predominant thing that actually gets you into the league quicker.
It works, yeah.
It's weird that that works for baseball, but you don't get that working for other sports.
It is like it's super weird because like they've tried to start some of the recent football leagues have explicitly been like, we're just trying to be like a B league for the NFL, right?
Yeah, that's what people think that's what the USFL and XFL, well, I guess now it's the UFL, was kind of doing. And I know the XFL was kind of like that. In their first iteration, there was a clause that in every player's contract that at any point an NFL team could just take you, and they would owe no money back to the league or to the teams or anything like that at all. So,
right.
Yeah. No,
it seems like it makes, and people love football. So like, why wouldn't we watch? I mean, I would watch. I mean, we've talked about this. I've
been watching the program
UFL
here.
I wanted to watch it before they canceled the whole thing.
I've been watching UFL. Actually, I missed the first week of UFL because I literally had no idea it was starting. But since then, I've had UFL on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah.
How is
it? Maybe it's a marketing thing because I didn't know it started.
I think I watched like a play or two just to see the new kickoff.
I think this is week. I think we're going into week 5. Maybe it's week 4.
Did you love it, Tim? Was it a really good kickoff system?
I kind of wonder how well it'll work.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like when it actually gets into the NFL. I think that when you're watching other leagues and you see different rules being implemented, you're kind of like, all right, that's just how they do it. But now when you start seeing, your actual, NFL program, like the big guys that doing this kind of stuff, play this really weird, gimmicky, dumb scheme stuff. I don't know.
If they move too early, is it like a
false start or offsides or whatever?
Or
I would assume that doesn't change. Oh, you talk about because like
the receiving
we have to wait. You have to wait for the receiver to catch the ball, isn't it? Like they have to touch the ball before you either
the
line
receiving team can't move either.
So that means that the guys that are blocking for you are like turned around looking at you and not looking at the guys. They're going to become charging them at any second.
There's no charging though because they're all close to each other in the first place.
There's like 5 yards apart, aren't they?
I thought they're 10 yards.
Yeah, but they're not
10 yards
like
apart.
70 yards apart.
Oh no! They're not running full stream ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
awesome.
Like, these guys can be maybe 300 pounds, but the way they move, by the time you turn your head back around of a guy catching a ball and get your face pointed in the right direction, that 10 yards has become like 3 yards, and that 300-pound man is in your face.
Yeah, so, I have a feeling they'll figure it out.
All right, they'll do something, or they'll do something dumb like they did and change it after 1 year. What they did that with the overturning the pass interference call. They like had that rule for 1 year and then were challenging it and they just got rid of it.
I mean, I'm interested in seeing how it works, and if it doesn't work after a year, then you iterate, right? I mean, I'm in software development. That's what you do. You iterate.
I would prefer these. Can we get rid of some of his rules that he made?
Tweak.
Which rules? Which rules do you want to get rid of?
Some of the Belichick rules. Didn't he make some?
Oh, they just kind of got
blind about some.
No, that definitely happened. No, I think that I think just implement it in preseason for a couple of years to study it there, and then before you move it over. Don't just change something unless you're really concerned about some like specific thing that's causing injured players to be injured, which I know that's what they're saying this is going to do, but it's a pretty big move.
They're saying that it's no longer an interesting play either because people aren't running the ball back.
Except for you get rid of the onside kick. I mean, it's still there, but
you get rid of the surprise onside kick.
Right, which is the only reason why onside kicks are fun. I guess they're fun because it's going to happen in like the last 2 minutes of the game.
They happen at the end of the game, mostly, yeah.
Yeah. But like the surprise ones, I mean, you may get one every couple. I don't even know if they have one a year. But man, when they do an onside kick, you're not expecting it. That is awesome.
I don't think it's one a year in the last 5 years. It's probably one in the last 5 years.
It's normally like some young coach that comes in there and wants to shake things, like when Jim Mora Jr. Came into the Falcons and did that. So
it should happen more often, and the rules are creating a situation where it can't, but I don't think necessarily that it would either. And I talk about this all the time with, like, when I was growing up watching, the Bulldogs, the SEC, the coaches would do that kind of crap all the time. I mean, just random, like, they would pull all kinds of go for it on fourth, onside kicks whenever. They do all kinds of crazy shit.
That's because outside of conference play, Georgia plays like the crappiest schedule in all of college football.
No, in the SEC games, it was like known for like crazy shit happening.
Toy around. You said not this year, Tim?
Georgia?
Don't they have like Alcorn State and Arkansas State or
some of those? But they have actually a hard schedule.
We're playing Vandy. Who are we playing?
We're playing Vandy.
We're playing we're playing teams that are considered better than us.
Yeah.
We're playing teams that are going to whatever this new fictitious thing's going to be.
Even when we do Alcorn State, we're all sweating about it.
Oh yeah, that's true. We have Murray State this year though, right?
Ben was in
be careful, they're fast.
They are fast. Ben was in like a little Twitter war with our Kennesaw friends, trying to talk.
Oh really? I missed that.
Bit. Yeah, I just was like, leave him alone.
He talks too much shit. We're not that good.
Leave Kennesaw
as much shit gets talked.
Yeah.
They added their CUSA patches to their jerseys. I saw that unveiling, and all three jerseys had different sized CUSA things on them.
I will say that the alignment of the patches too was a little strange. Like maybe that's a thing. They want you to have one at like a diagonal angle. I don't know.
No, it just Kennesaw sucks.
Ouch! Don't bet
it. Yeah, they're ugly colors too, black and yellow.
Come on, those are cool colors.
Ooh.
No,
you're wrong. Appy's cool. They're cool.
No, Appy's not cool.
Except for Appy has what's his face, the old man, which is cool.
Oh yeah, the
old man,
Yosef.
Yosef is cool. But Kennesaw has like an owl, and like that's not that cool.
I really wondered when Kennesaw started football, and then we're gonna make them move to Conference USA, if they would do a rebranding and get something more,
not
better than
schooly.
And not night schooly, but I guess like what FIU or no, that's the Panthers. FAU is also the Owls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird. I thought they would find something to do.
It's totally a night school thing.
You know what it should be?
I got it.
I have the perfect mascot for Kennesaw State, because being up there where they are in Kennesaw, the Kennesaw Karens. Nothing's more scary than an OTP Karen.
It's just a silhouette.
Karens are scary.
With like a Karen haircut.
Exactly. A woman with an updo and low hanging earrings and a finger just pointing.
Yeah. She definitely wants to see the manager.
All right, there we go. That's our episode title: Kennesaw State Karens.
No, we can't name it.
No, we get unnecessary views and attention from them. Don't want that.
I take any views and downloads and anything I can do to. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to rile up an opposing fan base, right?
They're not gonna make it this far.
No.
How long before we schedule Kennesaw State again in football?
I hope soon. I hope as soon as we possibly can.
Well, that would be 2025.
2025. There's an opening, right?
Let's do
it.
I
don't know what their,
Maybe that's who.
I don't know what their schedule is. They may not.
And
have
I thought we didn't have an opening. That was actually
we have an opening. We have. I think it's an away game. I mean, technically, it can be a home game as well. It can be a third home game, but we have 2 home games and an away game scheduled for 2025, and that's it. I think.
Yeah, but I thought Cobb told you that wasn't real. That there was a game.
He says that there's a game lined up, but until it's on FD
he won't
schedules,
tell us what it is.
I don't think he knows who it is. I mean, like to
the
extent
of who it was during that conversation.
Correct. Like he just doesn't. We all know that I
mean, I have to go look stuff up all the time. that
I
should
feast on
have
schedules.
friends.
I spend too much time looking at schedules. I pretty much know all of our opponents going until the UAB series.
But I'm glad you recognize that that's weird.
No, I only know that you guys find it weird.
Fair enough.
Okay.
My obsession with the whole thing. All right, we can. We're bumping up against an hour. I did want to state that I don't know if you guys watch it at all, but I made my debut on the College Huddle national podcast talking
College
about
Cuddle?
Nice.
The Cuddle? The Cuddle
the
Fest?
College Cuddle, the Cuddle Huddle.
You got to rag on Bama fans.
Hopefully
right?
the big spoon, David.
The topic was
Michigan, right? Cheating?
Michigan sanctions with the ruling to come down on what they had come down on those guys. But I was supposed to be given the G5 perspective because, obviously Georgia State fan knows what the other 100
Well, we're
schools.
non-autonomous, so we don't get an opinion.
Did we care? What was your opinion? Or do you want to hold that for last call?
I don't want to ruin anything for those that want to watch, but
Let's
basically what I said.
Last call it.
All right. But then I will be making also my not my debut. I'll be making my debut on the G5 show this Sunday, and they'll be asking me questions and talking about Georgia State. It'll be a Georgia State focused segment on the.
Wow. You better get ready, man. Start studying up.
They fortunately told me what they're going to be talking about, and I can, when it comes to Georgia State, I can BS for a long time. It's until they start asking me players' names and coaches' names, and then I'm be like, I don't know who the other guy is.
Start talking about our MLB baseball stadium we have.
our Olympic track and field stadium.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, cool. So we're gonna head over to last call. Tim, you wanna sign us off?
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna take a quick break. Brian's probably gonna go pee again.
Definitely. And
jump over to last call. If you liked what we heard, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/State Atlanta. We get early access to our last call and live streaming, right? And live streaming. Discounts on our sweet merch, right? Group chat action. Breaking news always happens there first. Just remember that. And free booze at tailgates. I don't know if I can say that anymore, but hey, for $5 a month, become a fan of our show. We'd love to have you aboard. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
You have to say peace, I think.
Peace.
Oh.